Hey y'all, Bearded Bros Golf Show back at it again. I am thankful for these two gentlemen for holding it down last week when I had no reliable internet and all I could do was chat. Back in the world of working technology, so super thankful for that. They had a really good show, and yeah, like I said, glad to be back at it this week. We're gonna keep it high and tight. Not a whole lot of, I mean, there was golf, but not a lot of news stories going on. We'll get to the Grant Thornton here at the end. I do want to cover some follow up items, both two follow up items, and then we'll get into the golf that was played this weekend. So I'm gonna pull this up. So I talked a couple. Ooh, got some bright light. Had Laurie Canter discussion a couple weeks ago, and him being able to earn a PGA Tour card, but rejecting it and going back to Live, where he played 2 years. He gave an interview, and it was actually pretty in depth. It was good to see his perspective on it. As a journeyman golfer, worked really hard to get where he's at, and then have this opportunity with Live to make more money than he ever had. So I want to pull this up and read from this. And this is about his decision to go back to Live versus accepting a role on the PGA Tour. I had the offer. The offer I had was brilliant. He says, speaking for the first time about his decision to join Live, you're weighing up all these things where I'm going to play my best golf and how do I feel I can do that and be compensated in the best way that I can. But is also the lifestyle. The PGA Tour schedule is still probably the pinnacle of tour golf, but truthfully, I enjoy playing in Europe and I'm still passionate about playing events on the DP World Tour. If you're going out to play on the PGA Tour and you can live in America, that's obviously achievable. But at this point, the weird commas in here, I don't want a life like that. My family is happy and settled where they are. I have two daughters, aged 3 and 1. Traveling back and forth to America 30 weeks of the year isn't sustainable. So I like the clarity, the fact that he was just able to be very transparent about why he made the choice and a respectable answer. I know early on when people were defecting, there was a lot of bullshit answers about why they were doing it. This is probably the best one that I've read so far. So, what do you guys think about this?
Um, well, I mean that's cool and all, but like, I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm trying to be positive about it. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know how long that favor is gonna stay up with the DP World Tour and the Live, like that conversation with that. Like this might end up turning into him playing on the Asian tour when he's not playing on the Live League. And I don't think it's necessary. Like, I mean, you love playing. Okay, let's let's go down the schedule real quick. It's just I don't know, bro. The first week in January, January the 8th, it's in USA. Then they're in Saudi Arabia. Then they're Australia. Then they're in Hong Kong. Then they're in Singapore. Then they're in South Africa. Then they're in Mexico. Then they're back in the US. Then they're finally in Europe in June. That's the first mainland Europe event in June. Then they're back in the States. And then they go to Great Britain. And then they're back in the States for August. So, as much as you want to make this argument, 12 out of the 14 weeks are going to be other than Europe. So, congrats on your decision. You will not be in Europe for the Live Golf League, brother. Will you be in mainland Europe for the DP World Tour out the year? Sure. That's the 20 weeks or whatever that you're going to use, but I mean, again, you can't BS a BSer, right? That's all I'm saying. You sat here and gave that excuse. You're muted, by the way. You gave that excuse just to say that you didn't want to make the move to USA, even though you're gonna not be in Europe. But anyways, Mike, what do you got, bro? I'm sorry, I'm random.
Uh, it's his choice, it's his decision. Whether the decision is valid or has logic to it. It's a clear one at least. It's not like oh, I just did it for blah blah blah. It's a clear one. I mean,
Is his wife gonna travel with him?
I don't
Does it kind of point into that in that interview, Rod? Like, are the kids
I
traveling with
didn't.
the
He didn't
wife?
mention that. He
know.
didn't mention that. He made it sound like that they would be stable. He did mention that their home base is now in Dubai. So I don't know if
Yeah.
that's central to
Mm,
be able to
So
get
you're not
back and
even
forth.
in Europe, bro. Okay, all right, bro. The excuse is falling apart, brother. Oh my god, man.
I don't get it. I
yeah.
mean, I look at it as if you get a one. I mean, he speaks very highly of the PGA Tour, clearly, but you get one opportunity in life to maybe make. Yeah, I get it. You got like 5 million the first go around with Live, but was bumped for a more prominent name. I'm not sure who that was at the time. He just said he was bumped for a different name. So like I get it. We see more people. We see people making more money on the PGA Tour than they ever have. So I don't know. The decision seems a bit short sighted, but I was just happy to see some additional insight and to see someone who made that decision speak freely about it,
Yeah,
whether it makes sense to us or not. You know,
Hmm.
I think he threw a couple shots at Keith Pelly, the former DP World Tour commissioner, saying that there's a lot of tension when he was there and a bit of a roadblock to being able to play the DP World Tour. But now that he's gone, there seems to be a softening of that. However, caveat, in the past, Liv has been paying the fines and fees that the DP World Tour is still instituting upon Live guys. That's going away this year. So any guys that choose to play on the DP World Tour are going to have to pay their own fines and fees. So
yeah. Do we know the numbers on that? Was that like what 100K a tournament or something like that, or 100K a week
something
or
like
something,
that.
right?
He mentioned Cantor in the article mentioned, coming off of $1 million doesn't seem like an attractive prospect, but something that he was willing to do. So I mean, that is a lot of money just to give up to play golf. So I don't know. I know we've seen a lot of live guys playing DP World Tour this last year because of that relationship. I feel like that's going to lessen pretty significantly this year. The one exception I think will be Terrell Hatton. Terrell Hatton's going to tee it up no matter what.
Yeah,
Plus, he got a bigger deal. But other than that, I can see a lot of the participation that we've seen this past year drop significantly going into 2026.
it's gonna be Asian tour golf again.
Yeah.
Trust. They're gonna find places to play on these off weeks, and it's gonna be the Asian tour because that rapport still hasn't left. It's just a matter of if it's gonna be televised and how are we gonna be able to keep up with those guys because the TV time isn't gonna be there if they can't get to the DP World Tour at least. So we'll
Right.
see, man.
What else you got, Mike? Anything else on this before we go to the PJ Tour schedule?
No, I think isn't it confirmed Sung J M and who's the other
Nope.
guy? Oh,
They're coming back. They're
See,
in the
see,
PGA
Kim.
Tour.
oh, interesting. Very lovely. Isn't there also in the talk about Brooks coming back to the PGA Tour or trying to make a comeback to the PGA Tour?
Yeah, he's gonna sit out
Yeah,
a year.
I was hoping we'd get some more conclusive news on that because it kind of popped off last week when we went on, but
Hmm.
it was just the live commissioner talking. But he was very evasive. Is that the feeling you got, Marcus? That he just didn't want to address it directly with Brooks?
Yeah, I mean, if I was losing a big star out of my golf league, I would too. I wouldn't really want to just go ahead and say, yeah. He's sitting out the year. He's going to play some DP World Tour and then play the 4 majors, and then he's going to be back on the PGA Tour. But seems to be that way, and hopefully it is. I mean, shit. If it's the way it is, where he's got to sit out a full calendar year, then the last scheduled LIV Golf League from this year, 2025, was in early September or late
Yeah.
August. So yeah, he'll be able to come back after the playoffs, play in the fall series, get back acclimated, and then start getting some small FedEx type points to get back on the tour and not really feel obligated to go through those little small inklings of Q school or the qualifications and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure he'll be reinstated fully to where his money exemptions or his past championships exemptions will kind of filter in there to where he'll be able to get in to a lot of these events and then playing actual, real golf, 4-round golf with cuts. He'll be getting, world golf ranking points and stuff like that, which will be able to accumulate, and then maybe he'll be able to get in some of these elevated events and then start building his way into the equity and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna be exactly like right when it happens, but do I think Brooks is still young enough to where he can where he still has enough time to recover and get back into the swing of things? Yes, I do.
Yeah. Mike, do you have any excitement about Brooks return? I know how Marcus feels about Brooks. I think we've been fans just because I like his swagger.
Hmm.
Do you have excitement about a guy like Brooks rejoining the PGA Tour at
Yeah,
this
no,
stage of his career?
absolutely. I think Brooks Koepka kind of, although he necessarily doesn't perform well, or from what I've seen, he doesn't really perform well in non-major tournaments. I kind of hope there is a change in that if he does make a return to the PGA Tour. And I think, Brooks could also be like the person who could shake things up in the live PGA Tour world where like and this is kind of like a question for y'all as well. Like if Brooks comes back, do you think other big names could come back? Like let's say a Bryson DeChambeau or I mean, I don't think Cam Smith will leave, but like what if Cam Smith comes back? Like people who
Cam
are
Smith don't want to come back.
yeah.
Cam
Or
Smith has he's been vocal about him enjoying the relationship that Liv has with Australia and stuff like that. The only names that the PGA Tour wants, anyways, besides DeChambeau, is John Rahm, and John Rahm has already talked about how much he regretted going there, even despite getting 600 mil, and that was he just he's explained it in multiple different ways. He doesn't feel the need to practice as much. He doesn't feel as hungry. He was. I mean, was he not on record saying like, I miss shit even like the American Express? Like, am I tripping? I could have sworn he said something
No,
like
yeah,
that.
Mhm.
he's kind of danced around the topic and been very diplomatic about it. He hadn't been as explicit, but you can read between the lines. And um, I mean, everything that he said prior to leaving, I mean, literally up to the moment that he left was against the format for the league, right?
Yeah.
And then, they tried to say he was going to fight for all these different things like 4 rounds, which just came to fruition in at the end of his second year. So these are the type of things that he's like, this doesn't feel like real golf. It's an exhibition. It's an invitational type of format. This is not
Yep.
something that's going to push and drive you. So I think Rom and DeChambeau are the two that would, I guess, the PGA Tour would be very happy to have them back. Is it a make it or break it type of deal for the PGA Tour? No, I think mentally they've moved on and they're like, we're in. Who's our next? They're very fortunate that Scotty Scheffler has stepped up as world number one. That's
Mhm.
been the saving grace for them, where it doesn't hurt them as much. Now, if we had been having a bunch of ho hum golf out of everybody, where no one kind of really took that mantle, I think we'd be in a different position. I think the PGA Tour would actually have been more amicable about trying to come back together. But now that they have a star, they have the world's best golfer, they're kind of like, we'll figure it out. And a couple of other
Yeah,
guys will
and then
elevate their
Rory
games.
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no, let's not forget about Rory.
Rory, Tommy, shit. But I mean, Tommy really surging. Like they have some really likable guys at the top. You got a family man. You got your famed Texas boy, and then you got a European stalwart over there in Rory. I mean, they got really like a three-headed beast right now. To be fair, I mean, Tommy Fleetwood
Yeah.
winning the FedEx Cup really did it. Like for him, and like now there's gonna be so many different commercials and stuff that he's gonna be in and stuff like that now. So yeah, we'll see.
Let's see
Um,
here.
yeah,
Heard Liv was set up an all Korean team, but couldn't get Seaver. Yeah, yeah. I don't think they can get fans. Yeah, Marcus and I talked about this, especially once the announcement came out that Siwoo Kim and Sung J M don't move the needle. And I know that they're probably Liv is probably looking at it in terms of we see how successful the LPGA has been with integrating Asian golf heavily into their schedule. It's a win. It's a win for the LPGA. I think for the men's side, though, it doesn't move the needle. Like those two
yeah,
guys are cool, very good golfers. Both are winners. But in terms of like capturing a market share that matters, what are you gonna get? One minimum Korean event, two at the max. That doesn't really do a lot. We've seen their Australian event be massive, but at the end of the day, it's one event on the schedule of 14. So it's cool. It makes a headline, right? It got people stirred up because to be real, they've gone 2 years without signing anybody of note. They went John Rahm, Terrell Hatton, and then it's been pretty blank since then. So this would have been decent, especially again, you're going against the PGA Tour, but yeah, it's pretty minimal, just a drop in the bucket.
yeah. I think maybe well, the Thai congregation traveled for Gino. I would say the Korean congregate is definitely going to travel as well. But the only thing is one event in Hong Kong, and then the next week is Singapore. Everything else is far away. Listen, we're not hating on Liv. They just have to be better, dude. They need more events. Like they need to have like in that 15 to 18 events. Like they need more. They need like at least another Asian stop. They need at least another mainland Europe stop before they're even really like. And then you double back or you spend 2 weeks in Australia, just like DP World Tour did. Like if you're
Yeah,
really trying to promote a worldwide league and show the fanfare that you so think is there, then okay, then double up. Double up. Does it just show up for one
yeah,
week or does it show up for both weeks? Because we saw for DP World Tour and the PGA Tour combined with all those players, they showed up back to back weeks in Melbourne and then the week before that when they were in Sydney, I believe. Yeah, Sydney. So yeah, I mean,
yeah. I also think that their strategy of going head to head with the PGA Tour is a losing one. It would be much better. It's kind of like any other league in sports that's competed against an established competitor is to go in their off season, right? So anytime
yeah,
there's been an attempt to have an alternate football league, it's been a while for basketball, but they play it opposite of the big boy tour, right? So weather-wise, you can find enough places to complete your dream of it being a worldwide game that are still warm, right? Asian tour type of schedule, but playing opposite. We've seen the ratings. When Liv goes up against PGA Tour, it's getting crushed. They're even on Fox, now that they have greater visibility, they are still getting crushed in the ratings week in and week out. I think this is the most accessible it's been, and it's the least I've watched live in 2025. I worked harder when it was like other alternatives. I don't know. Mike, give us an example. How much live did you watch this year compared to maybe previous years?
Is that a green painting back there? Because I haven't watched any of Live. I haven't watched a single minute because I
I was
have
about to
it.
say, you talking to Mike. Mike doesn't watch live
Yeah,
golf.
not a single minute. I
Not a
couldn't tell
single
you
minute. So
where they were this year. If you were like,
I think
Michael,
that says a lot.
put a pin on the globe and this is where they play it, I would have never guessed where they would have played. Never in my life.
I think that I don't. I'm not saying we're the end all be all, but I cannot find a single person that is excited or that speaks highly, other than to be the contrarian, right? So right now, we live in a world full of people that are intentionally contrarian. Other than those type of folks, I don't see many people um, going hard in the paint for live. You don't even see it
No,
on Twitter anymore. So,
yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm just
but
they have 12 events on the schedule right now. I just keep trying to I'm trying to find reasons to believe in this shit, and I can't. Like, y'all are in America and in the north in our side of the world, too much to say y'all are a world tour or a world league. Like,
yeah,
bro, the very first week is in is a promotional event that's in USA. So you're saying your home base for this worldwide tour that was led by an Australian guy is gonna be in America. How is this gonna work? Well, the PGA Tour is already reigning supreme over this. How are y'all gonna make that
right.
work? Then y'all go to
I think
Mexico. What, like,
right. Right.
Yeah.
I think
bro.
here's my plea though for the PGA Tour, which we'll kind of transition to. This schedule reduction thing that y'all are talking about. Hear how we're talking about live.
Oh, it could be a ruiner.
What y'all are proposing is going to ruin the momentum. If some rando that works in a back office at the PGA Tour, please listen to fans. Do not ruin the momentum that y'all have by doing what y'all are proposing to do. Here is a schedule preview that we may see in a couple of years, 27, 28. It's a few years down the road, which gives y'all plenty of time to pivot away from this dumb idea. So this was dropped earlier in the week, proposing a pretty tight schedule and gets rid of some events that, I mean, honestly, Marcus and I tune in pretty much every single week. And to have such a reduced schedule like this, where I don't know what they're going to do with the Tournament of Champions, um, going forward. Who knows at this point? But they're proposing their first event to be the Waste Management Phoenix Open in February. Again, we talked about it last week. If it's not in conjunction with the Super Bowl, which is a perfect lead in to the Super Bowl every year, I look forward to golf in the morning. And then Waste Management Phoenix Open usually comes down to like a playoff or a really tight finish. And then you lead into the Super Bowl. So
Literally.
I don't know, Marcus. I know your thoughts on it, and I'll come back to you at the end. Mike, what do you think about a reduced schedule for the PGA Tour?
I don't like it at all. No San Antonio anymore. No I mean, the Arnold. Yeah, I don't like it. No, it's just kind of like taking all your major tournaments and just kind of shrinking them, taking out. It just feels everything is so tight, you know?
Uh, bruh.
Does it?
You
I mean,
go no, I agree. Like,
everything
just
is just it's so back to back to back, like it's rushed. And I mean, what does this also mean for like events that are more like have been established, but that they're taking out? Like for me, like I actually enjoy watch or like the Valero Texas Open, and I don't even see it on here. Austin is the Byron Nelson, correct?
No, that's
No, that's
Byron
valid.
Nelson is not there.
Are
Um,
you
we
serious?
don't. Right. The Austin would be like what is currently or what is going to be the Good Open or whatever it is going to be.
Yeah,
No,
Um,
that's a fall event though.
no, no.
so this is all kinds of jacked up. It's bad.
It,
At first my brain had to process this comment, but yeah, I mean, if this happens, we've always said that there is a clear distinction between, like with the game of golf, there is our visual watching of the professionals playing, and then there's the personal side, right? So it's the one sport that you play, or most of us play forever or for a long time in our lives and watch. And so um, I do feel like personal golf or rounds per year would explode if the PGA goes to this type of schedule, right? Because there's times that I'm like, okay, I want my golf fix, but I don't necessarily want to go play. I may just sit in the house and watch, and that makes me content. I'm getting older, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I would play a ton of golf if there was nothing to tune into. This is shit. This proposed schedule is super
yeah.
garbage, and like I said, they got 3 years to pivot away from it.
Um, I mean, also think about it like this. What does this do to the guys that aren't established on tour? Let's say, because I'm assuming most of these tournaments are elevated events, if I'm incorrect.
Yeah, yeah.
So what, I
Currently,
mean, yeah, what is
currently,
what does that mean for the players who are not considered or not good enough or notable enough to play in these events? Well, I mean, we're just gonna see a loss in cards. It's just gonna be almost virtually impossible to be on the tour. Um, yeah, this
can I can I
stinks.
can I tell you? I think the if this happens and this goes through, um, the unintended side effect is that you push guys that are on the fringes who may be your next stars that could have that potential
Hmm.
over to live or alternative leagues. I don't think you want that. This kind of
No,
shoot cut your nose off to spite your face type of sentiment, because like
right.
you said, there is going to be a limited amount of um, opportunities available. The Corn Ferry Tour is cool. um, PGA Tour Americas, me and Marcus were going back and forth about a story that we saw from a guy. His name, what's his name? Quinn Riley, Marcus,
Quentin
that
Riley, yeah.
had a bad experience on PGA Tour Americas. You're not necessarily playing in the most luxurious of places like Guadalajara, Mexico, and having a rough experience there. So I think that there's more downsides to this than good ones, but it's like we're talking about the sponsors taking over and them saying, "Oh, we want the names and faces that people know at these
Yeah.
events."
Well, to be fair, like, the Houston Open, there are a lot of, I mean, it's the last qualifier to, if you win the tournament, you go to the Masters if you are a non-qualifier. And a lot of players like who already in the tournament play in it as like a tune-up, not necessarily because it's similar to the layout of Augusta National, but it's a tune-up. If they
Right.
decide not to go early to the Masters. But from what this looks like, this is all these are all these are all invitationals, mostly all of them. What's the Denver event? What didn't that you no,
I
that's
that's
Chicago.
a new one. They've only played one event in Colorado, which was a couple of 2 years ago, 24. I want to say it was at Cherry Hills or something like that. Um, yeah, John. They keep the John Deere.
Okay.
Travelers has been an elevated event, and I think also they're taking a week off after the each major as well as a part of this. So where currently they're having an elevated event behind majors to keep people tuned in and locked in, they're taking that away. Um, it's interesting. I mean, Atlanta event in April, which we've been seeing them play the Tour Championships, but they're playing Atlanta early in the year. The RBC Heritage, yeah, I don't know who the hell knows. Yeah, so there are enough tours outside of the PGA for them to have less events, but more premium product for fans. I mean, there's Asia, Europe. Unless there's something big going on in the background, um, where they're going to boost the profile of maybe and partner up with DP World Tour, elevate Corn Ferry's profile. There's the live separation. Who the hell knows? And like I said, this is all proposed. They may just be testing this. You sometimes you throw out information just to see how people are going to react to it, kind of as a test balloon, and we'll see if that's the case here. But this is severely reduced, and we'll see how it affects people down the line. But I don't think it's a great effect.
I think
Uh, Go ahead.
I get what you're saying, but YM, but also like as if you're a fan of golf, you're trying to watch as much fucking golf as possible. I don't give a damn if it's in New Zealand or wherever it may be. It could be in Argentina for all I care. If the golf is on, I'm trying to watch it. So limiting it and our exposure to it is not the best thing. Now, finding streaming services and stuff like that, who's really going to do the work to one, pay for it, two, find it, and three, watch it if it's not already on my cable package that I have on my TV at the crib? That's one of the best parts about the PGA Tour is they have 40 weeks or so of this. And it's on from 2 to 5, 3 to 6, 12 to 3,
Yeah,
1
you
to
can
4. In a window
you
I
can
can
lock in.
always see and then, catch the replay later on at night if I was at work. So, and one aspect, I get what you're saying, but at the same point, I don't. And then to just really kind of conclude it before I really spaz is if the first event is in February, the last event is in August. You have gone from a tour that played from January, mid January into September, 8 months out the year. Look at every major sport in the game right now. Football, American football, 8 months now with preseason, playoffs, Super Bowl, 8 months. Basketball, NBA, 8 months. You got 4 months to break. Everything else is the sport. You got your lead ups, you got your pre games, you got your training. Baseball, same thing. You start your spring training in February, then your season starts beginning of end of March, beginning of April. You're playing all the way into November now. So you're telling me that you're not trying to if you're trying to stay as a major tour in a major aspect in sports, I would be trying to, kind of model my product after that. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, at Formula One, eight
I, I,
months. I mean, it's
I,
just so many.
yeah. I think whatever you gain from sponsorship dollars and attention, you lose out on other parts of the market. So I tend to agree with that. You're reducing your profile pretty significantly. And the truth is, during the summer, when people can be out playing golf, if that's where the bulk of your season lies, I mean, you're just pretty much throwing away TV ratings. I don't watch a lot of golf when I can be out golfing on my own, right? So um, it's going to be interesting. That part's going to definitely be interesting. Let's pivot to some equipment stuff, and kind of the Grant Thornton Invitational. Quick equipment story. Saw this random post about Jason Day spotted with the TaylorMade M5 driver in the bag. We talked about Aaron Rye earlier in the year winning with the same driver in the bag. Um, Jason Day's become a bit of an equipment weirdo these last couple of years, changing out irons pretty much every month, it seems like at this point. Playing some old TaylorMade stuff. He's been a free agent for it's like 2 seasons now. What do you think about him throwing the M5 back in the bag? What is y'all's knowledge base around the M5 and why people cannot quit playing this driver?
That's more of my question because me personally, I played the Sim Max for 3, 4 years, loved it. But before that, I was very much so a TaylorMade hater. And we talked about that. The only other, because you had the M1, and after the
Mm-hmm.
M1, I really couldn't see myself playing a TaylorMade driver. It just really seemed like a joke to me. But then, they dropped like the R1 and it kind of was appealing. The face was so hot. Then they had the arrow burner that DJ was using, just the ugliest shit you could see. But the numbers were
They
producing.
always felt cheap. They always felt cheap to me, cheap and
The
light.
head,
And I know it's
exactly.
to
The head
achieve
is so
speed.
light, right? Like they want you to have the clip head speed with these hot faces, but then the stealth was tooth in a face, and the face was just exploding. The amount of warranty, returns and stuff like that I was hearing about, I don't even want to know what Mike was dealing with in Club Tech and what he was working on and stuff like that. But yeah, go ahead, Mike. What you think about the M5 and everything?
Um, that's a great driver. I mean, Jake Knapp played it a couple years back as well. Aaron Rye and Jason Day. I mean, they must have found a great success with the driver. And also, think about it like this as well: is that the driver that they're playing isn't similar to the driver we're playing. Um, from what I've gained is that TaylorMade does release a different head than for the tour players than they do to the general public. It's very difficult for us to get our hands on that product unless we know somebody on the van or a tour player themselves. But yeah, I mean, it's completely different. Who is to say that that head is completely different as well as what goes into the head, whereas the swing weight's different. They have a material called hot melt that goes into the club, where it's a weight, wherever they have that hot melt based, that it's performing completely different. So, I mean, like if you think about it, when the QI 35 was out, Rory McIlroy wasn't playing the LS model or the core model; he was playing the core dot. A lot of people didn't even know that driver head existed until like Club Junkies revealed it, and they're like, "Oh, well, these guys have different heads." Well, yeah, tour guys get different,
Of course,
get
yeah.
way better stuff than we do.
Yeah.
But so there could be something with that M5 that they're seeing that's built for their game that's producing better than the new one, the QI 4D. In my opinion, the 4D is a great driver. I've was fortunate enough to hit a couple shots with it, and I think that will be, and this is a big and pretty big for me, but I think that will be probably the best-selling driver or the hottest driver of 2026. Still, you've
Hmm.
yet to see the Quantum in-house. Still have yet to see what Titleist is cooking. Still have yet to see the Cobra Optum. But from when I hit the 4D, it is on par with the M1 or better. Like when it comes to like how lovable the driver is. So that is kind of my take on the new 4D when it releases in hope in maybe February. Don't know have a definitive date yet, but I think those who will play the 4D will see exceptional increase in distance and numbers. But that's my take on the M and
Hmm.
the M5. It's just it could be it's a completely different head. I don't know.
And that, yeah, we've talked about that in the past. Me and Rod have talked about faces being injected and the different the different tech that they've been able to use instead of that. But that's another thing. That's another thing that reminds me of this BS. So when you have the PGA merchandise show in the middle of February, right? So you can let people know what y'all are finna drop, what all these OEMs are finna drop as far as tech goes, as far as apparel goes, and stuff like that. So you're telling me these tournaments in January, the Tournament of Champions, the California Swing, the Sony Open, all that stuff doesn't matter as far as new tech and new merchandise coming out? You think we're not watching what they're getting right there? Oh shit, when it drops for the public in February or March, I'm a cop that because I seen Siwoo Kim rocking it, or I seen Siwoo Kim out here with the Quantum. That driver is super high. Because if he's getting 10 to 15 out of it, I know I can at least get 15 to 20 because I'm just a hack. So you think like that's another thing that's just pissing me off thinking about it. Like you telling me that doesn't it's all connected. It's all connected, bro.
It
Like if y'all are trying to really run a
it is.
successful business, you would be thinking about that. So hopefully this is just a ploy to see how pissed off we get, to see really how marketable it is and stuff like that. Because otherwise, it's just some foolish. Mm.
It is. It is foolish. Um. So I don't. Let me see where he finished. So I don't. I don't know how effective the use of the driver. He was definitely not in the top 10. I mean, we had limited teams. It wasn't a crazy.
But to be
So
fair, before
last,
before
dead
the go
last.
ahead. Oh
No, I
no,
was
not
just
my
saying.
Henry.
Jason Day and Lydia Ko finished tied for 13th with three other teams. So not a successful run um, in the Grand Thorn. So just tinkering, I guess. But go ahead, Mike.
To be fair, before he did play the M5, he was playing a Ping G440. So he was playing current model technology. Like I don't know, could just be messing around with stuff. He is a free agent. He has the resources to do it. So why
Yeah.
not figure? I mean, I could understand. Yeah, he's they're playing at the Grand Thornton. It's a fun event, but he's. I could also see that he's trying to get everything in order before the uh start of the season of the PGA Tour season. Um, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
It very very well could be. And the weird thing about Jason Day is we've done his bag before, and
mm,
let's just say his club choices and shaft choices are very unique. Things that you would not typically expect. I think he had these super heavy iron shafts in the irons that we reviewed that particular time. Something that just very unwieldy. So I don't expect him to work within the box that we would think most pros would be. So hopefully, I mean, I'm always rooting for Jason Day. He was one of the first players. Like I remember going to like my first in-person tournament, which was one of the Byron Nelsons at the TPC Las Colinas site. Well before they've changed over like three times since then. And he was one of those players that I followed. It was when he was in really good shape before the back injury. So I've always had an affinity for Jason Day and rooted for him kind of on the sidelines. So hopefully he's able to regain some form and figure out whatever he's playing for 2026. But yeah, M5 was definitely something that I was like, that's strange. Grant Thornton. Got to watch a couple days of this. It's on a 3-day tournament. Um, really good TV coverage. I mean, they were flipping back and forth between shots. Saw a lot of live golf this go around. Seems like they were experimenting with some different TV coverage and just it came off very good. Every time I looked up, action was happening outside of clearly commercials or whatnot. Um, I know Mark. I'm gonna go with Mike's. I don't watch golf, a lot of live golf. Marcus, how much of the Grant Thornton did you get to watch? Did you notice anything in the coverage that stood out to you?
I tried to watch as much of it as possible. I think what was the first day? Friday. What was I doing Friday? I watched the replay of it, but I watched Saturday. I pretty
Okay.
much saw Saturday, and I saw a lot of today as well. Um, Friday was probably the hottest day. You know, it's the easiest one. Everybody's playing their own ball until you get to the green, and then you're playing best putt or whatever. So I think or scramble. I'm sorry. I think the coverage was great, but they were showing a lot of clips of the fans for an off-field event. This was pretty good fanfare.
Yeah.
I want to say it had a lot to do with the young talent that we had involved there. You had Luke Clinton, Loudy Wold, like we said, the Florida State camaraderie going, so they had some good fanfare there. Michael Brennan, Charlie Hull. So you had some really good duos. Now, again, like we discussed, I don't know how these duos came about, but
Hmm.
it was super fun to watch. I mean, you saw Coughlin and Novak really vibing, like like they really had a good rapport. Nelly Korda and Denny
Ping connection
McCarthy,
there.
yeah, they had played. Novak is Strixon.
Yes, 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 he is.
But he plays a ping driver.
Doesn't matter.
Sorry.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Go ahead.
Right,
Go
I was
ahead.
Nelly Korda, Denny McCarthy, they played together before. Michael Kim, Rosang, the Cali Circle, then Team Canada with Brooke and Corey. So yeah, it was a lot of good fans. Dang, I mean, Patty T and Jake Knapp pretty much shot themselves out of the tournament on the second day by shooting. They were
On
like,
Thursday. Or
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
on Saturday.
Saturday, yeah, they were three over par when everybody was, still fighting for, even, but the leaders were under par, three or four, strokes. But yeah, overall, it was a good product. I saw a lot of live shots, like you said, a lot of good putts. Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna do nothing but grow, and hopefully they find a way to add more teams because if there's only 16 teams, that's 8 tee times. You can get that up to 10 tee times easy. You can do
Yeah.
40 players, you know?
And it's not a bad for a small field event. The purse is one of the largest outside of majors for the ladies.
Yeah.
And the
And it was still pretty
two
quick.
winners. Yeah. The two winners split a million. So Novak and Coughlin each received 500K. It's a pretty good 3-day weekend, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Um, team.
I'll ask Mike you that. Go ahead.
I'm gonna
I
say
have a
Team
question for
Crash
you,
Out
Mike,
played
after you.
pretty well. I
Team
watched. I
crashed
watched.
out.
Yeah, I watched a little bit I saw the highlights for all 3 days, and well, Team Crash Out didn't play too well on Saturday. I feel like Saturday was the actual like, okay, we have to lock in because I can't like, I hit my shot, you hit your shot, so that's why we started to see a lot of movement in the leaderboard. Um, it was kind of was it Sunday's format was different where like if me and Marcus were on the same team, we both hit our tee shots. I would play Marcus' shot, you would play
Yeah.
mine. Is that correct?
Modified four ball.
Okay. What?
Saturday was straight foursomes. Like it was
Yeah,
straight alternate shot.
yeah. So I think Saturday was just kind of like a test of how things would play out. In the sense of like it's more along the same lines of like let's say like Solheim Cup, Ryder Cup, like some of those events. So it's just kind of really if your teammate isn't firing the way you are, it's going to be a pretty tough round as a team,
Mhm.
and so I think that's where
Yeah.
that's kind of like
Yeah.
where the golf became a little more even in the sense of like it was a more actual golf. But I do like the Sunday. I do like the Sunday setup because, like, I would say the LPGA ladies are better with their wedges than the men, and it would kind of like, and the ladies would also find the fairway more than the men, so that give the guys more opportunity to like go after pins and they have the yardage for it. So I
Yeah,
think I like that.
easily.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Um, yeah, bro. Team Crash Out had a terrible Sunday. Everybody's going seven, mean, if you look at the leaders, 1 and 2, they shot 63. Nelly and Denny, they shot 63. Charlie Hull and Michael Brennan got left where they stood. They shot 65. They shot 65. Then Rose Zhang and Michael Kim, they lost a position by shooting 65. Lexi Thompson and Wyndham Clark, they shot 69 on Sunday. That's despicable. I mean, you
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah.
You saw it. No glove. I mean, Lexi Thompson in the glove, no feel. Wyndham Clark and the center shafted lab, it just L's all around, you know. They bogeyed a par 5. They had a 6 on a par 5, brother. So yeah, Team Crash Out got some work to do, you know. Those part-timers over there.
Yeah.
So this is a question for Mike because I know where you stood earlier in the season. So this is the second team victory of the year for Andrew Novak. At the time, we were discussing Ben Griffin because he then shortly went on to win his solo tournament. But do you consider these team wins on the career wins list for Andrew Novak? He's got 2 this year. One in in New Orleans with Griffin.
Yeah, and this one.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Right. This is even less of a win because this is unsanctioned.
This is true. This is and it's a super small field.
Yeah.
And it's only 3 rounds.
Well, I mean, okay, to be fair, at the Zurich, you are playing against names like Shane Lowry and Rick and Rory, who are like Ryder Cup, like the perfect duo. You're playing against some pretty big names in Louisiana.
But you only did half the work. No.
I know.
Ben Griffin has 2.5 wins this year.
That's crazy. 2.5. That's crazy. Okay, no, yeah, but no.
No
Thank
win.
No, yeah.
So
no.
in any do you? So we talk about the struggles with the U.S. Ryder Cup team.
Yeah.
Andrew Novak, solid player, solid. Had a really good season this year. Contended near the top of quite a few leaderboards.
Correct.
Do you consider putting someone like a Andrew Novak, not name recognition? Most people are not going to know him, but it seems like he plays well in the team format. Do you consider putting a guy like that on a Ryder Cup team as kind of a crazy wild card pick to kind of be a glue guy?
What is he gluing though? Do the other players like him like that though? To be a glue guy? Like,
he's been able to work.
Like, nah, bro. Like, where's Novak at, bro? Like, we got to link up when we go to the RBC Heritage, bro. That's my guy. Like, we got to have a night together before the tournament starts. Nobody's fighting for Novak like that. That's what I was telling Rod when we discussed this during the season. The homies is the homies regardless, bro. Like, that's why Patty Ice got on there as a pick. And I guarantee you, if Harris English would have had that good week late on in the season, JT would have automatically qualified and we wouldn't have had to waste a pick. Then we could have been talking about putting Novak on there. Because there's no way you pick Harris English. Go ahead.
Let me give you, on the Ryder Cup standings, the final points, Novak was 13th at that point in the Ryder Cup standings. Just above him was Brian Harman. 10th was Mav McNeely. A case could have been made for Andrew Novak. I don't know, man.
If Harris English wasn't an automatic pick, that's what I'm saying. It all lends to that. Because if he's not an automatic qualifier and JT slides in at number 6 like he was literally pretty much all season up until like the first playoff week when Harris English goes off and almost wins it, then yeah, JT gets the 6 out of that spot. So then you have Scotty, you have JJ, you have Ben Griffin, you have Colin Morikawa, you have JT, and then I think Xander, just based off 2024, those are your 6 automatic qualifiers. Then everything's up for debate. Who knows if Patty Ice gets in, because then you have to decide if Harris English is good enough. Cam Young still makes it, but then Novak has got to be in the discussion somewhere. I 100% agree that Novak has got to be in the discussion for President's Cup next season for 2026. But I think he would have been in the
If he
discussion
could keep the
again.
momentum going.
Okay. Well, to be fair, the President's Cup, I mean, of course Scheffler will play, but if we see a good showing from Homa, the gala, I think that'll also
They're so far
Akshay.
away. No, bro, they're so far away. They have to have like a monumental first half of the season. They were so bro, their world rankings are terrible, bro. They're like so Thagala is a past championship status. So he's still got another year for his exemptions. Otherwise, he wouldn't even have conditional status. That's how bad his year was, brother. And I'm a Thagala fan. We've talked about
fans,
this,
but he's been playing too much. I think he's been
hurt.
playing for the better part, for a long time, and he will not sit down. That's the problem, is that the man wants to play every week.
Yeah. Could you also debate that since Morikawa really didn't play that well,
he had a good 2024 too, though. It's just he's consistent. And then he had the second in the elevated Arnold Palmer event when he fleeced the media after that second with Russell Henley. Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, as a team player, then yes, Andrew Novak should have been in the conversation, but how is he in match play? That's the other thing, because I mean, match play is a different animal. Like, there's also an argument you can make that prime Kevin Kisner should have made multiple Ryder Cup teams. Should have. One hell of a match play player and played well at the President's Cup, which is a similar format to a Ryder Cup. I think Kiz should have been on a Ryder Cup team, in my opinion. Prime Kisner, in my opinion. Brother he's nasty at match play. Nasty.
Yeah,
I mean he can.
We've said this. Go ahead, Marcus.
He can putt his butt off 1,000%, but he's not like to me. His European equivalent would be Ian Poulter.
Correct.
Ian Poulter.
I was going to say that.
Ian Poulter is still. He's not lengthy, but he's a fairway finder. Is Kiz accurate off the tee? He's short and inaccurate off the tee. So as a partner, if he's not making putts, what is he going to do? Ian Poulter's at least still going to get you in the fairway and then drain putts when it matters. That's why Kiz did what he was supposed to do, and he was a fun guy for like the President's Cup. And then I think he was on – was he not – he wasn't on the team. He was a cup captain. He was a vice captain for the Western Straits.
Right.
But I don't know if he was on the team in 2016 when they won.
No.
When they just flat out won.
No, he wasn't on that team.
Because that would have been the last, like...
That's what I'm saying. That would have been the last...
He has never... No. He vice captain in 2025 and also, like you said, Western Straits, but he's never been on a Ryder Cup team.
Okay.
But
I get what you're saying, though. But no.
Yeah. Also, here's another good question. So you know how like the women have their Solheim and the Ryder Cup have for the men's, and all that. What if there was like a kind of like a men's women's event like this, where you take 6 women, 6 men from the United States, and then
See,
Mike talked about that.
Mike, you're starting to piss me off. Yeah. You don't piss me off. You need to do your research. We talked about mixed field cups.
I'm sorry. and call it
and that
the Super Cup.
it would be good. The fan
Yeah,
factor
we've
is hard to
literally
ignore,
brought
and
this
it's like
up.
the President's Cup. If you put Homa expecting he makes what he needs versus Novak as option, sponsors will prefer having someone as charismatic as Homa. I don't disagree with that, and I think that's
No,
peak
that's
like
right.
Americanism
That's
where we
right.
often favor the name and what TV can do versus winning. Who knows? I mean, shit. It's frustrating to a certain degree. The Euros don't give a damn. They're gonna put them damn Hoygaard brothers out there, and it is what it is. But yeah, that you can never eliminate that as a factor in American picks. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
shit. He's with Lululemon now. Who is Andrew Novak's clothing sponsor, brother? We don't know.
Nobody,
We don't
nobody.
know. Nah, he's got a really good point. Yeah, man, the Europeans, they gonna put out Bob McIntyre because that motherfucker gritty. What he does, nobody knows, but he just wins. He just wins.
He just gets
It's
it
insane.
done. Yes.
Yeah. I'm not gonna
Literally.
let this
All
the
right.
European Ryder Cup team is pretty much set for the next, I don't know, next two Ryder Cups,
Next two
pretty
for
much.
sure. They're
Yeah,
pretty
give or
much going to
take.
roll out four teams that are very similar. You may have
Yeah.
like the bottom three or four change out. I mean, but they
Right.
only had one change from 23 to 25.
And that was the
So,
twins.
so
Literally just exchanged
it
them.
was one of the twins. Exactly.
Hmm.
Let's keep it rolling. Quick mention: DP World Tour shortened to 54 holes. I watched literally like none of it. Just didn't work out for my schedule this week. And then the weather impacted the Saturday round. I did catch, the Instagram highlights. Congratulations to Jaden Shaper. Hits an incredible shot with like a wood. I think it was a hybrid out of a bunker. Almost jars it. Hits it right below the a hole. Ends up skipping through to the back of the green, but getting an
Made the
applause from
putt.
his
Hmm.
exactly gets an applause from his opponent for an incredible shot. I mean, just gutsy to go for it. So that's really all I got. Just a heads up, to that. Congratulations to him getting his first win in South Africa. Any other
Uh,
feedback from you guys?
no, Norris played well. He had a really, really good Sunday. Putter is
Yeah.
devious. Putter is devious. What
Yeah.
he's putting with is an abomination.
He's got a broomstick, right?
It's a broomstick, but the
Oh
grip,
no.
it's the grips. That's what makes it an abomination. He has two Z chords, like not even like it's diabolical. Worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And
Mm.
I, but he putts really well with it. So hats off to Mr. Norris for that. But holy cow, the grips
He's
on that broomstick is
absolutely
diabolical.
not anchoring at all.
Not
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 even a
anchoring,
question.
but it's literally two Golf Pride Z chords, where one is the halfway point and the other half is where he anchors it right here, or where he, does it right here. It
Oh,
is,
that's just ghetto. Mm.
oh, it's bad. And I saw it and I was like, and I kind of like was scared for my life because I was like, whoa, what is going on here? The tour guys can't
Like what's
afford a super stroke grip or something. What's going on here? But it's what he likes. He played really well on Sunday with it. Hats off for both those South African gentlemen who played really, really, really good golf, and it came down to an exciting finish. Um, so yeah, so I am watching DP a little bit more DP World Tour. So
Man,
look at you. Good for you,
I'm
my guy.
looking at the schedule. I'm just excited, man. They have like a month off. It's less than a month, really. They're in Mauritius this week, the 18th through the 22nd, and then we won't see them again until January 15th. But like I said, that's 3 weeks, and then they're right back to it. And
Yeah.
that's Dubai. That's Dubai, then Hero Dubai Desert Classic, where we're going to see Rory. That's their elevated event. It's $9 million purse, 8,000 road to Dubai points, and then that's their Middle East swing, and then they go right into Africa. They're in Kenya, Then they're in South Africa twice again, and then they're in the China. They're in the Asian swing. They're in the Hero Indian Open, bro. I'm just so excited. The DP World Tour's really got it going. So you know
It's
what?
legit.
I'm just excited, bro.
Let's hit this Lauren Coughlin. What's in the bag? We already have a Andrew Novak and Ben Griffin combined. What's in the bag on the channel? So if you're checking, check the playlist. It's up there. So let's just hit Lauren's real quick and then get up out of here, guys.
Yeah.
Pull this out. This is Lauren and her caddy. She's had a hell of a 2-year run. Late bloomer, but she's been playing some golf these last couple of years, really putting herself and her name high on the list of LPGA golfers.
Yeah.
So she is a straight ping staffer, the ping G440K at 9 degrees with the KBS TD50. Mike, what is that extra 3? I was looking at the stats. What does that signify?
Flex category 3 means she's playing a 50-gram regular.
Okay. Is that unique to KBS shafts? Because usually we just see the S or
Yeah,
Tour
so
X or
their driver shafts are a little different. Whereas like the lowest that they go is a Cat 2. It goes from Cat 2 to Cat 6. The 6 being like a TX, the 5 being an extra stiff, 4 stiff, 3 regular, 2 senior. I don't think they make anything softer than a senior, like the ladies. It's a great shaft, kind of a mid to low driver or mid to low wood shaft. I actually played this in my 3-wood for a little bit, liked it, but got rid of it. Just golfers being golfers. But overall, really great shaft.
You don't typically see a lot. I mean, KBS is more known for their iron shafts. Do you
Mhm.
think they can make a run in the woods? You just, you don't see a lot of prominent players playing KBS graphite shafts. What do you think about their potential to kind of get into the market and increase their profile?
No, I mean,
No.
no,
Not
Okay.
with the way Diamana is coming back.
no.
You got
Yeah,
Diamana coming back. You got the Fujikara
Tour
gang is
AD.
always good.
yes,
Yeah,
graphite
graphic
design.
design is really good. I mean,
Project X is always putting out a good product with the hazardous and now the Denali line. So
yeah,
it's
bro.
for
It's hard to get
KBS.
into the game.
Like the only way to be honest, the only way for like KBS wood shafts to make a prominent like, oh, we're gonna start really selling this thing is if Scotty Scheffler plays it or Rory McIlroy plays it, and everybody's gonna want to start playing it. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the only way I see it, but not to say that it's a bad shaft. Great shaft. Really great shaft. One of, I would say, more the underrated shafts that nobody really pays attention to. Um, but offers great feel. I like the way it felt. It's just the tinker in me came out that specific time and got
Okay.
rid of it. So I
Fair.
don't, yeah.
Okay. All right. We're gonna go through a series of woods. Homegirl carries like a lot of woods. Ping G and her 3-wood G440 Max. The 15. I would say in the Ping again the KBS TD 60 same flex profile. I would say for the Ping 3-woods, the Max is always the move. I don't even think I've seen the standard version of their 3-wood on offer very often. I play the Max in the 425. I think it's a great profile. Looks like there's it's a huge side to side. It's not very deep, but it looks like you have a lot of real estate to hit on this club. What do you got? What's your feedback, Marcus, on the Ping 443 wood?
Mike has it. It really looks delicious. I'll say that. Look, like
It
from the
looks
top looking
delicious.
down, it looks great. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I haven't personally hit it, but
Pause.
what do
Pause.
you mean? It's a golf club. I can say it looks good.
Looks delicious. All
It
right.
does.
Get this man some some therapy. Mike, you play the 440?
Yes, sir. Both the 3-wood and the driver.
Okay. Did you play any previous version of Ping Woods prior to that? How would you
Mm-hmm.
compare it if you have?
He's been ping for a while.
Yeah, I've been playing ping since the 400 for the the G30 to the 400, 410, 425, yeah, from pretty much then on. It's different. It's lighter. It's lighter. It's different. Sounds different. Doesn't feel different, but
Hmm.
definitely for I would say higher level players, you'll notice a significant weight difference from the 430 to a 440, just because of what they did this year and hollowing the. I'm not going to get into it because it's too much information. But yeah, it's a little bit of a weight difference, and I had to mess around with it a little bit to get it to where I liked it, or where it felt to a more consistent ping driver that I've played in the past.
So you went 430 to 440?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Um, 440 in her, what would probably be a 5 hybrid, 18 and a half. I think it was stock at 21, and she just has it bumped down to 18 and a half. Playing the Ping stock shaft in this one. I hate the stock shafts that come with Ping clubs. Changed out both of them in both the driver and the 3-wood that I have because I hated it. Too much spin for both of them, but that may be the profile that she's looking for. But for me, it was like way too much spin on top of the spin that I already generate. So,
Listen, that ping tour staff, stiff shaft is fire. It's elite.
ugh,
Well, no, no,
It's
he's
it's
no,
elite.
no,
elite.
no, no. He's talking about the Tour Chrome.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay,
talking
That's the
about
better.
okay,
the
okay,
regular one.
Yeah, not the Alta. The Alta
okay.
is a lighter, more spinnier shaft, but the Tour Chrome, the Tour Black, I would gladly replace it if I ended up not liking the
Fire.
shafts. Yeah, gladly replace it with one of those two.
Okay. Again, continuing with the hybrids, bumping back to the 425. Again, this is what I'm still carrying, but in the 3 hybrid, 425. I don't think you can go wrong. Ping has been putting out really solid woods for the longest time. I would say only overshadowed by TaylorMade woods. I would say going all the way back to Marcus having the 410, those things were hot, explosive, and consistent in terms of not over curving, really solid. So I don't hate that she's stuck with this one. When you find something that works, you stick with it. She's in the KBS Tour Hybrid Proto 75 gram shaft here. Pretty standard stuff. Any comments before we keep it moving?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
I will say,
Uh, Go ahead.
KBS is making a push for their hybrid shafts. Like all their graphite line is really making a push that's not just not in the woods. Graphite hybrid shafts and graphite iron shafts, they're making a huge push.
Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing quite a few in the bags this season. And then last wood, a 5 hybrid at 26 degrees, the 425. You don't see this one very often, so but not uncommon for an LPGA player to carry this many woods in the bag. But we've talked about this recently. Marcus and I are both heavily considering dropping our 4 irons for something a little more friendly in the bag. So we may be not this far down, but shout out to her for just playing what works. And then we get into her. What happened to my iron? Oh, there he goes. Double slide. So ping I-240, 6 through pitching wedge with the KBS C taper light at 110 grams. Lot of help in this club. Definitely, taking the ego out of the equation. taking the help that's available. What do you think about this iron?
It's like the player's distance. It's not that bad of a top line. It's still pretty. It's still pretty nice.
Presents
Um,
well by the ball, but you can see the tech. I
yeah,
mean, there's some tech built into the bottom, with the weighting, and it's not just it's clearly not a blade.
yeah. I
No,
mean,
yeah.
shit.
This is like the step down from like a Blueprint S or a Blueprint T. Still offers the forgiveness of like a player's distance, but the performance of the blade. Um, Actually sold really well when it released, when it came out, but I don't like the way it felt. It just felt a little too clicky.
It
Uh,
really did. It was
Hmm.
really firm.
a little too clicky, where is not you don't really see. I didn't really notice that when the I-230 or the I-210 was out. It was very, I it felt like an iron. Felt like an iron did what an iron's supposed to do. This one, I wouldn't say it was a
Yeah,
miss. I wouldn't say it was a miss, but not what I'm used to seeing when it comes to this line. So
not forged for sure. Like it didn't feel forged at all.
Hmm.
It felt like straight
So
cast iron.
bad implementation of the hollow body.
Yes.
Shout out to Golf WRX for not providing the right photo for her wedges. I think they put up Andrew Novak's Cleveland wedges, so I just have the specs. She's playing the Ping Blueprint in a stiff in her 48, which are 48 and a half, which is her pitching wedge, is how they have it listed, and the Ping S159, 54 and 58 degree with the S and H grind on them, and all three have the KBS Tour C taper limited and a stiff profile.
I'm looking at her
And
putter.
keep it.
well, that's nice.
So the Ping PLD milled Oslo 4. I didn't have enough time to get like a top line view of it. Um, I know Marcus is a huge fan of Ping putters.
I am.
Mm.
They were very, very good to me. Shout out Michael.
The Oslo, we still have a couple Oslos at the store. Well, it's the Counterbalance Oslo. Um, Two different styles. The PLD is a little bit of a tighter head compared to the Counterbalance Oslo, but offers a great sight line as well. It's like mm, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a like that how that shape is, and then it's kind of hollow in the middle where the ping badge is always behind the face, and then a big sight line down the middle. So great putter, honest, great, really great putter.
She's a great putter too.
She is.
She's top. She's top of the.
Um,
I'm looking up her. I'm gonna look up her stats real quick.
and short game, just short game in general.
Yeah,
Um,
and
Great out of the sand.
fifth on tour from fairways and reg. I mean, she had a really good
Yeah,
season. 22nd
yeah.
in
Her
putts for greens and reg, fourth on the tour in birdie percentage. Yeah, she was up there.
Yeah, the success is no accident. Her being able to pull the results that she has this year have not been some some randomness. And she also plays the Titleist Pro V1 um, ball. So interesting because we talked about that with um, Novak when he played with Griffin. Griffin being the Max Fly guy. Novak playing the Shrixon Z Star Diamond. So I think sometimes we overplay. Like, most of the time the ball is heavily about the feel. And in these team situations, you can get by a few days not necessarily being super into the strategy about who hits first or what ball to play, especially in the alternate shot type of formats. But that is Lauren Coughlin's What's in the Bag. All right, fellas. I didn't think we had a lot to go over today, but we're gonna make a chat out of anything. So, anything else you want
Stretch
to
you out.
talk about before we dismiss? I do want to say one random thing, bro. I'm gonna screw his name up because it jumped out of my head. The Michigan head coach story
Oh,
continues
He's
to get
cooked.
worse and
Oh, he's
worse
cooked.
with
Oh,
with Sharon Moore. Sharon Moore. Um, that man needs therapy, probably some time in jail,
no,
and he can say goodbye to football for the rest of
that
his
brother,
life.
that brother needs Jesus. Holy cow, he is cooked. He is cooked.
The story I heard before going to bed last night was
Oh,
upon being released from jail, finds time to message some OF fans model like, sir, have you not been through enough? And who is around you that is advising you to say, hey, bro, put the phone down. Like, just let the technology go. Go find a quiet hotel room to stay in, disconnect, be quiet. Like, he has ruined his life and thrown away $6.1 million a year and his buyout now because they fired him for cause. Like, most tragic sports story in a while. Like, you could have learned from Shannon Sharp earlier this year. You've had examples. Come on, bro. So Marcus looks incredibly disappointed in that man.
that's
Just a collective embarrassment.
just really embarrassed for bro. Even if he isn't, I am for him. Like, bro, the DoorDasher recognized you as you were trying to buy some preventative measures and get it delivered on campus, sir. The DoorDasher reported you, brother. The DoorDasher reported you, brother. Yeah, it's
That's
curtains for
bad.
my boy. It's
that's bad.
curtains for my boy.
So I think that's a good end. Like I said, one more time, I'm going to throw my appreciation to y'all for last week. I'm glad to be able to speak this week and not be delayed and not have my screen buffer immediately upon starting the show. So enjoyed it. We will be back next week, of course. We're really starting to hit that slowdown, but I think that always means some crazy news is going to pop up. So we'll see what happens in the world of golf this week. But we'll be back at it again. Vader Bros Golf Show. I am Rod.
I'm Marcus.
And I'm Michael.
Thanks, y'all. Catch y'all next week.